What's up, guys? Sub-Zeric here, back for another VOD review. Today, we're doing a Wasianiverson VOD review from some regional scrims, which are on the new patch, but just on PBE before the new patch drops. And speaking of the new patch and of regionals, I have an incredibly exciting announcement here. Let me pull this up for you guys just so you can see it in all its glory. That's me right here. I am going to be casting some games in the regional finals this weekend with all of these other super talented people, so come check it out. I'll be on the main broadcast, so on the Teamfight Tactics Twitch channel and the Play TFT YouTube video, so come watch my casting, my professional casting debut, I guess. I mean, I've casted for Project PB before, but this is the big leagues. I mean, obviously Project PB is cool too, but yeah. So yeah, and let's watch this game here, which is a game on the new patch. This is part prep for, you know, you guys, showing you guys the new patch, and also prep for me, because I am going to be casting this patch in a few short days. And what is Wasianiverson eating? Oh my god, it looks like he's just eating out of a pint of ice cream. That looks low-key beast mode. But besides that, let's actually lock in here on this game here. Start off with a Primordian opener here. Gonna check Arbiter here. Have an every 3 attacks Leona spawn one, which is really nice with this Diana opener here. So we can just play the old school Leona printer from this spot here. Makes a lot of sense. We do have Fountain Lulu, but it's looking like he's not prioritizing it super highly. Definitely something that you could play towards, but looks like he's definitely prioing this line a lot higher here, this Arbiter setup here. And it makes sense, right? We have the Guinsoo's Rageblade with just like some kind of solid augment for it. Tower looks pretty reasonable here. You could even try to take some kind of Pandora's and go for a double slam, but it might take a little bit while. So I think we're gonna reroll Tears and Pandora's here. Look at Tower. Seems solid enough. 1, 2, 3 is fine. Only upside is it could give you like a Zoe, that's about it. But yeah, I think Tower is just such a solid combat augment that we can just pick this up, make our Guinsoo's Rageblade here. Can also buy a little bit of time for our Diana to get there, but also we can buy time for the Tower to strike. I feel like a lot of the value in this Tower. Oh, and I made weekly rewards progress. Thank you, Wasianiverson's Twitch channel. Wow, I'll get a watch streak there. But I feel like Tower, a lot of the power budget is in just the damage that it does. You want to protect this for the most part, but the upside is the failsafe is that it's just some extra frontline. So it's kind of like a win-win situation here. Wasian gonna go for the pretty aggro level. He's scouting the lobby and saying, I'm pretty strong here. You look at all these other boards, it's actually pretty reasonable that I beat a lot of these on a level up here, and I can actually very reasonably play for a streak here. Obviously, also getting Challenger in is a huge upgrade onto this board. Getting Challenger for our main carry in Diana. And Diana, not a bad early game unit. Tends to fall off later, but not too bad in the early game. We're going to rotate into this MF Victor board and just get kind of cleared by Jazz Latte. Upside is Jazz Latte's not on a 5 streak either, so honestly, only 2 people left possibly going for 5 streaks now. So I guess it makes you feel a little bit better about losing your streak here, but still doesn't feel great. The only other saving grace here is that we do have the Leona too, so that's nice. We have some extra frontline onto this board, can buy time for this Tower. Once again, just swapping the Tower around, trying to make sure that it's in a spot where it can save some HP. You know, you have the Mordekaiser tank for it, but then it can also tank for the Diana as that fail safe so that your Diana doesn't get blow up. Because that's kind of what happened in our last fight, is Diana ended up dying way too quickly just because of the sheer amount of damage that existed onto that board there. But yeah, if you guys didn't catch a patch rundown, Divine Intervention is just good. I think we'll grab that. And then low key, you could take Diana pair here with Rod. Yeah, it's probably not going to pay off, but it eventually will. If you guys didn't catch my patch rundown, this new patch, some big changes, a lot of it in like small little augment changes and things like that. We were definitely happy about this pickup. And one of those is that you can see this Expedition player in our lobby. They're the only Expedition player that exists. There is only one Expedition player allowed per lobby. Now it's almost like a hero augment, which I think it's an okay compromise to this augment just being kind of broken so it doesn't like completely destroy lobby tempo and stuff like that. What I will say is that, you know, still now that one person who gets Expedition has a very good time, though they did nerf it a little bit, but I still think this augment is very good, and you're gonna click it a lot. You know, when you see it, you're just gonna be the person who does get to click it. But yeah, I mean, in this spot here, we didn't reach our 5 streak, which is the only downside. We aren't in the situation where we're able to play for 5 streak. Also, surprised that he doesn't actually play the Nasus over the Mordekaiser here for 1 extra trait here. I would imagine that's just straight up better, because it's not like we're playing the Conduit on the Mord yet. But anyway, because we have this Diana too, we can start to think about some really greedy stuff. I think we were regularly, normally thinking about playing this as a kind of like a normal Vanguard play into LeBlanc style game, but now that we have this Diana too, I mean, we're very likely to keep streak for a very, very long time, which means we could actually look at, potentially like a fast 9. So we will see where we get to. A really big thing is like what our next augment looks like in this spot here. What if we get econ, it can certainly allow us to look towards this fast 9. If we don't, it's going to be quite sketchy, honestly. 0 econ into fast 9 is not what you want to be doing. So really, we just kind of have to let the augment decide here. Also, that's actually, the more I think about it, kind of smart. So we ended up selling the Nasus because he wanted the gold so that he could actually make 20 that round. And honestly, really, really smart call from Wasian, because this is obviously going to be really, really good if we do ever find a Zoe. And also, it allowed us to make econ here. We get to make 40 this round. So actually really smart from Wasian, prioritizing the econ over playing his strongest board for 2 seconds there. Electro, boxing lessons, item grab bag here. I mean, this does count the dummy, so that's plus 30 HP, which is kind of funny, but I'm actually really shocked that he did not take the lunch money in this spot here. I think his idea is just we're going to go Giga Combat here. Boxing lessons is, like I said, just obviously really, really solid, especially because we're also potentially, we have a few options here. I'm imagining actually with this BT slam that we're going to play towards like Nova Fast 9 would be the dream here. But it's funny because like Leona imagines that you would play more of this like Vanguard Fast 9 idea. And yeah, that is kind of what he is going to team planner out here. More of a like Vanguard, Shepherd Fast 9. Interesting. He's throwing a lot of cool stuff in the planner here. The only, I guess, question is, what are you going to do with the BT? Guess it's just going to go into Blitzcrank late game, which seems totally fine. Prior to Blitzcrank, it's a little awkward, but I mean, honestly, prior to Blitzcrank, it's going to be onto the Diana here. So like, it's fine, honestly. Team planner out the board, and yeah, his idea is going to be this Vanguard Fast 9. I think in most people's opinions, this is the dominant version of Fast 9, just the consistent version of Fast 9. The Nova version is still very, very solid and caps a lot higher, but especially in a spot like this where you don't have econ augments, you just have double combat augments, you feel really good about just stabilizing on, Blitzcrank 2, a bar 2, that kind of stuff, versus the Nova version, you really need to get that like early grave so that you can start stacking him up. Anything gold related would be great here, and 2/5 cost is probably the best single thing that we could get in this spot here. So this looks fantastic. Can take the bow here, which will, I imagine, just end up being made into a void staff here for our Marsh Red, which also even further incentivizes us to play this Vanguard version as opposed to the Nova version, because obviously Nova version gets free armor and MR Shred. So looking good here. Pretty aggro level from Wasian here, but he's saying, I can sell the Pantheon here, still make 30 gold in this spot, and anytime you can level and make 30 gold, it usually feels pretty good. But I will say, we're not rich by any means. We are only 30 gold after winning this fight. So we're honestly pretty poor for a fast 9. The 2/5 cost will certainly help, but this is going to be a pretty slow 9. Might be like a 5/1 unless we get some kind of crazy 4/2 econ. Also, I imagine we're going to want to keep an eye on SCSC at the bottom there, because they're very likely to drop below 30 HP this round. I imagine they took the Echo Quest, but we do kind of want to see what the cash out is Echo Quest wise here. So definitely want to check them when the next fight happens, and I imagine they're losing. Looks like they're just playing this kind of like take the Echo 30 HP quest, lose a bunch of fights, and then cash it out and feel good. Ooh, this is actually a really rough fight against Dish Soap's board. I mean, to be honest, look at his board. Nar 2, Meepsy 2 has a Mighty Mech on the board as well. Kind of looks disgusting, honestly, how strong it is. Oh yeah, SCSC is double Echo, of course, because he has the Echo icon here. So we need to go scout. Go, we need to go scout and see what the cash out is here. He is not going to scout it, so we're actually not going to know what it is here. I see a dupe for Philip, so no, but that's dupe from his augment here, so it's not dupe from that. Yeah, I don't actually know what the cash out is. We might have to wait a while for Wasian to cash it out, but I mean, eventually he will get there. Just going to chill this round, obviously. Can't really level. Also, a lot of Dianas. I mean, the only thing I could think of is like maybe if you get the double dupes augment, you could think about this, but that seems quite crazy. It would be interesting though. Adaptive Help seems like a pretty solid slam here. You can just make this for frontline, you can make it for backline. It's just kind of everything. We do need some frontline items, and it's a great item onto Nunu because it gets him casting, and then Rod can sit open here for a JG, another Death Cap, a Morello, most likely a Morello if we can get there. So we will see here. SCSC take another loss, and Philip also take another loss. Philip's spot actually pretty trash because he's gonna have to take one more loss down to like, half a life essentially. Explosive Growth seems perfect here for Wasian. Oh my god, those are some good 5 costs to get. The Vex and the Bard here, 2 of the units that you want on your board here, means that he can think about moving Diana items, but I don't think it's even better yet, right? Vex is a beast. I mean, it's just Void Staff you can put onto backline here, just throw this onto Vex here, and then leave the items on Diana 2. Diana 2 better than a Vex 1 in this spot. I think this makes a lot of sense. Also, Diana gets the 3 items, right? If you move these items, then the BT becomes quite awkward for now. So I think this makes a lot of sense. And the utility can then sit on backline. So makes perfect sense here. Doesn't mean we're going to win every fight, honestly, but every HP that we can save here, especially with explosive growth, is really, really big here. Also, Bard is farming. What the heck? Okay. I mean, that's pretty good for him. Also, oh my God, if we won this fight, it would be way too high roll. So I respect Wasian for losing this fight, because if we have won this fight, I mean, what are we even bot reviewing? That's a Graves here, which is interesting. I have asked some people before their thoughts on, kind of like how to fit Graves onto this board. Theoretically, you can just drop out of the Rost, but it's a big loss here. So you see Wasian is, just going to say, actually, I don't really care to play this Graves here. Don't really have items for him. I could like put BT onto him and make him a more like tanky Graves setup here, because I have a decent amount of damage from the board already, but he's just going to say, Graves is a bait in this spot, which good call from Wasian. Also, he does have to move the items down to the Vex and just leave the BT a little bit stranded here. So chill enough, I guess. I would take Artifact here, actually. We'll see what Mr. Iverson wants. Yeah, he does like the Artifact. I think it's amazing because you're guaranteed to live 5 rounds. Like, there's no like world where you're like, oh man, I'm just gonna be like dead in 5 rounds or something like that. So you're always gonna get the value out of it. You are going to very likely be able to use it unless it's like a super AD focused one. But obviously, like any tank one, you need any AP one you can use. So there's a lot of overlap, and then a decent amount of the AD-ish ones have kind of like some AD and AP on them. There's a few that are going to be awkward here, but we'll just pray that we don't hit them. But yeah, going to take a loss into this board here. And this is also against Jazz Latte's board, where Wasian makes the call. He says, Jazz Latte's got 2 Nunus. There's actually like a lot of Nunus being held in this lobby. It's going to be pretty hard for me to find Nunu. So he innovates this really cool, almost like old school Fast 9 version into his planner here, and says Rammus Shen is my secondary out on this board. Obviously, you can fit Meeple in on this board, Bard plus the Meepsy plus the Rammus. So you can very easily get 3 Meeple in there and then get extra Meep for Rammus here. Scouts the lobby and sees that Rammus is pretty uncontested, which is funny because, usually you have all these different people trying to play for the Meeple front line, but actually not in this lobby. Rammus is pretty uncontested here. This guy is the only one really looking for it, but he is relatively broke, honestly. Only 30 gold Rammus one. So, and even if Dish Soap finds 3, that's only 3 out of the pool, which is going to be a lot fewer than there are Nunus out of the pool. So it's a kind of a crazy idea, but it makes sense. Also, rest in peace, Philip here. And also, we're getting close to our 30 gold cash out, so that's something as well. Jazz Latte not quite going to hit there. All right, last item here. We're really like some kind of tank item here, but you might just have to take this. Yeah, I mean, it's good enough. It's some damage items here, and hopefully we'll just have enough tank here. Bard gets picked up here, which is really, really nice. Roll down. The Rammus 2 is found here. Shen goes onto the board. Sona onto the board as well. And he is flexing. Finds the Meepsy here, who is kind of necessary if we do want to get that 3 Meeple in on this board here. Going to find the Blitzcrank, and then Meepsy is going to come in here as our Voyager. Only 3 Vanguard being played right now. You're not going to be able to fit everything, right? You're not going to be able to fit 4 Vanguard and the Rammus and the Shen. So I imagine we're going to have to drop out of some of this stuff soon. He is just going to Anomaly the Leona here for now. That is the big upside of having this Anomaly here, is that is an extra tank item for us that we can play around. But still, only 2 tank items. A tiny bit sketch, and also a tiny bit sketch is just our roll down. We missed pretty hard. We're 1-star everything. Upside is we got a little bit of a print there out of Bard, so that's more gold in our pockets. But once again, this is the downside of being kind of late to roll here. We do find the Sona 2. She's not on the board quite yet, but he is, gonna sell. I love this. Sell out of the Leona at this spot. We have the Rammus 2. I think she's gonna do a pretty good job here, and then get the Alawi in onto this board. So here it is. Here is the kind of final version of the board here. The 3 Shepherd in, the Rammus on the board, getting the Meeple from the Bard. You're getting really, really nice traits in with the Mordekaiser, by the way. Triple trait Mord onto this board, and Vex is just another DPS carry. So yeah, just drop out of the 2 Vanguards that you would normally play on this board and fit the Rammus Shen. It makes a lot of sense here. He's going to continue to roll down, does pick up Shen, and also gets Talisman of Ascension, which is kind of funny. This is usually just used as a tank item here, because if your Sona's making it that late into the fight, usually you've just won the fight already. So we'll see where he wants to throw it. He's gonna throw it onto the Sona. Actually no, he threw it. Wow, that was quick moves. I thought he threw it on the Sona. No, he threw it onto the Shen here. You're saying once again 400 HP. is a pretty chunky amount of HP. And, you know, in a fight like this, we certainly wanted that HP on the front line rather than on the back line. So it makes a lot of sense. It is a very scary board there. Is SCSC actually the player who got the Radiant item? Makes sense. Oh, we get dropped adaptive here. Okay, so now we know for sure that we can make the adaptive. Probably want to throw that onto Sona here to get some mana gen here. And oh, she's going to throw it up here. And wow, just go for... It's not even going to itemize the Sona, actually. Just going to go for 6 tank items. And the BT is going to move over there. A little slow here on the part, too. Not really the end of the world, but decent enough. And we'll see what our board can do here versus a very strong, though, no Gnar items. I think we actually lucked out really, really hard here. We fought Dish Soap's Ghost while he was slamming his items. And so we actually fought a Dish Soap Ghost with no items. That is crazy. But hey, it locks in our top 4 on this kind of unconventional board. Gonna move items onto the board here. Makes a lot of sense because we don't have mana items. So Sona is a lot worse. Now, obviously, these adaptives could be mana items, but looks like he does just care about the Bard here. Obviously, no upside to having Meeple in for Bard. Bard just provides more Meeps for your Meeple. But it is, you know, Bard is still a great unit to play around, especially when you have just Conduit in as your mana gen, and you want to go for these full-on tank items here. And yeah, we rotate into a pretty strong board from Dish Soap. And okay, we actually beat Dish Soap's real board here. So maybe it wasn't actually shifting momentum in that spot. Maybe it was just we're actually stronger than him, even though it was a little I mean, it wasn't intentional shifting momentum, but it was a little bit shifting momentum how that fight went down. All right, last item off Dragon here, hopefully going to be a Bard item. We sadly do not print the Dragon, which feels a little bit bad. That could be a very nice level 10. Vow gonna move, and then Adaptive gonna move down to backline, I must imagine. Yep, looks good. And yeah, it does look like he just prefers the Bard. He could move these items over to Sona, but he just straight up prefers the Bard here as an item carry in the spot here. I mean, Bard's a beast, Sona's a beast. I oftentimes see the opposite, actually. People carry Sona in spot here, but either way, you know, both of them are quite good in this spot. And obviously the Vex has to hold the Gwynsu and stuff like that. We get double balled by the Nunu here. Actually pretty unfortunate positioning for us. And top 4 locked in, but top 3 still kind of a wall here. We are 1 turn off leveling here, but there's also nothing to roll for, so we might as well sit here. I don't really think that Alawi 2 is going to be that big of a difference versus, you know, leveling in a spot like this. Even getting just another Voyager in on this board would be great here. He's going to make some quick swaps, make sure the Rammus is in front of these melee carries, which is really, really smart, just really decreasing the chance that he's going to get wrapped by some crazy Fiora thing. The question is, does he have the damage to get through Fiora and the Yi here? Fiora getting really low, Yi getting really low. I think we got it here, and yeah, wow, all right. The target dummy doing a lot of great work here, and now we can level up, get this Mighty Mechan on this board, which is fantastic here. He does not have Rostin on this board, so it would have been really, really nice to find the Rost here, but he cannot find it, so he's just going to have to play Mighty Mech, who's, you know, not bad by any means on this board, and he is also positioned again. He has the Rammus same side as Zaya, so this is good. This is depreciating the sniper's value. The problem is that we did get Nunu Ball there. Nunu Ball 1 hits, Nunu Ball 2 hits. I mean, the curse of Nunu here. And then the Zaya walks up here. Oh my god. I mean, that's a really rough fight. Very, very close to being good, but the Nunu Balls just swing it. And it is a third. Oh, could have been a top 2, actually, had we won that fight. Well, still, a really cool game from Wasian on this innovative Fast 9 board set. I'm not going to be able to find the Nunu, so I can play around Rammus as my main tank, which is just such a smart idea in a spot like this. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, if you did, please like the video, helps me out a ton. Please subscribe to the channel, check out my Twitch down below. Also, once again, come check me out on the main broadcast this weekend. I'm gonna be there, I believe it's Friday and Saturday, so come check me out. I mean, watch all the days, you know, but if you're coming for me specifically, Friday and Saturday is when you can see it. You can check me out on my Twitch down below if you want to see me before then. I'll be live a little bit later on Wednesday because I got some stuff to do ahead of time for the broadcast, but I'll definitely be live later on Wednesday. I'll put the information in my Discord. I'll create an event for it as I've been doing, so you can see when I'll be live on Wednesday, and check my Metafy down below if you want to hit any of your end of set goals. I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching as always. Bye-bye.